Hello, I'm Warren Howard, and I'm here today to interview Colin Wilson. And Colin is the Director of Key Business Advisors, and he and his wife Lorraine run a consultancy here in Melbourne, specialising in HR services, sales training, and business advisory. Welcome, Colin.
Hello, Warren. How are you?
Terrific, thanks, mate, and thanks so much for agreeing to be interviewed today. It's terrific to see you. I know it's been a busy day, particularly for you. So I really appreciate you jumping online with me this afternoon. Now, you and I have known each other for quite a while, Colin. 10 years.
10 years. 10 years. There you go. Yep.
Crazy. And the reason is we're both members of an Australia-wide network of professional HR coaches and business advisors. That's how we got to know each other. And I must say, I've always been, a great admirer of the way that you go about managing your business and working with your clients, because you bring a great deal of passion and positive energy to everything you do. And can I say this, especially in the current environment, resilience in the work and the way you go about it. So, well done, mate. And that's why I'm so really pleased to be talking to you this afternoon. So first question, we'll kick it off. Can you tell us a little bit about, your business, KBA, and your team, and what motivates you all to do what you do?
Well, I think, Warren, first of all, we've been going for 13 years, and we're over here in sunny Essendon. That's where our office is, and I think I'm very passionate. I love what I do. It's not work, so I have this burning desire to go out, see a company that is struggling or wants to get to that next level, and I'm very much a person, and so is the team, to get in there and get the work done of what needs to be done to take the business from good to great. Which is our catchphrase, links to the book Jim Colins, Good to Great. So, how do you build some level 5 leaders in your business, and, just get that business going. And I think, I think the team that I have behind me, there's 5 HR advisors. We have an internal marketing person, great admin finance person, my wife that oversees everything from the marketing aspects of the side of things. And, and we've got a trainer that also helps us with some training as well. So, we're a great business, and we've got great staff, and I think we all come to work for the same purpose, and that is to build our clients' businesses, but also to make sure that we're looking after our own as well.
That's fantastic, Colin. And how many people in the team overall, including yourself and Lorraine?
Well, now it's 12. So it's amazing. Like during COVID, I think we've gone from 10 to 12, and we're going to go to 13 in the new year. So it is a bit of a success story, but it's been a lot of hard work. I think, nothing's been easy for anyone during the last 6 to 12 months. That's for sure.
It's been a challenging time for all. So let's get into the purpose of our chat today.
Sure.
You recently decided to do something a little different, and this was back in October, end of October, beginning of November. And rather than focus on your clients, which is what you do most of the time, you decided to turn the lens back on yourselves and have a look at your own business and the way you go about things. And you invited me to work with you to conduct a workplace engagement study with you and your team. That was a bit different. So can you explain what prompted you to do that, especially given the chaotic year that we've all had? And what did you hope to learn from the survey?
Well, first of all, I think, if we go back and reflect, from April to June, we were doing a massive nosedive like everyone else. And then what happened was in July, one of the things that, I lost a lot of work because I do a lot of travel and can't travel interstate and stuff. So what I did was I grabbed the team in July, and I asked them to follow my leadership, and I simplified things in our business and said, this is the pathway that we need to follow. And, it's Lorraine and my job to make sure that we keep everyone full-time employed. Now, at the time, everyone was saying I can work 4 days a week or 3 days a week, but I stood up and said, no, this is what we need to do. We need to be better aligned. I'm not saying the company wasn't aligned, but we just need to follow what customers want during this pandemic and be very, very good at it. And then what I did was I did a series of Survive and Thrive webinars, which try to get that lead generation coming back into the business. And I interviewed a lot of our clients to ask them how they're going during COVID, like you're doing with me right now. And I put that out there. So I think what happened was over that journey, that created energy, it created lead generation to the point where we had more people downloading stuff off our website than we ever had before, which created a role of someone to do some tally appointing. So if I sit back and say, well, how did I go for July, August, September? Well, we're not eligible for JobKeeper, so that's probably a good example. And we've put people on. And I think what happened was, from my perspective and Lorraine's perspective, is we're on this great journey, we're on this pathway. We don't want it to change. So I think it's time that we actually step in and ask our staff, how are we going as a company? What are they feeling? What can we do to improve? And again, I'm a big believer in using outside consultants. We're an outside consultant. We use you for a lot of stuff and have done for the last 3 or 4 years to support us in change management, if that sort of makes sense. So I thought this is a good opportunity to get you to come in. Let's do this, and let's do a benchmark of where we see our team and how we're feeling, Lorraine and myself.
So, Colin, I mean, that's, you took a very challenging situation and sort of tackled it head on, which is sort of a bit typical of your style.
Yes, yeah.
But you chose to really focus on your staff, and by, essentially saying, don't worry about your job security, you've got it here.
Yeah.
And that's a gutsy thing to do in such an uncertain environment. But you also then focused everyone's attention on the customer, because there were still clients out there. There's still people working, trying to do stuff. And again, like you, trying to adjust to the changes. And then you also sort of put yourself out there. And I really love that Survive and Thrive series. And I guess that was really just trying to reconnect with your clients during that difficult time of change, but give them some support and show that you were there and keep your presence up when a lot of other people would have been going to ground, I imagine. So,
yeah, I think, I think, and Warren, also too, what we've done, I think, for clients that have really struggled, I've given them free training, free work, whatever, to keep them going. And I know that I was on the call with one of them yesterday, and I said to him, I know what I've done, and I said, it'll pay off in dividends next year with you, and he agreed. So I think, we really wanted to make sure that we didn't lose one client, and we made sure that, if they can't afford it and they're really struggling, we'll still look after them. I don't care. And then from that, the referrals and the repeat, the old clients, some of the old clients that have come back it's blown my mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's terrific, Cole. So, you decided then you wanted to sort of run a barometer on the business, if you like, dip into what was going on in the minds of your staff, but also take a moment to pause and reflect yourself. And so the survey that we did was a little bit different, wasn't it? Because it's not your typical staff satisfaction, happy sheet type of survey. Because it doesn't only just look at staff satisfaction, but it also looks at employer satisfaction, which I think, is so important, isn't it? I mean, as an employer or a business owner, you've got to be happy with the way the business is running too, or at least feel that you've been heard. And the other difference about what we did around this particular survey is that it also looks at the HR systems and the processes that underpin your business and are the vehicle for having a sustainable culture in the future. So it looks at the organization in three ways, the staff satisfaction, the employer satisfaction, and as well as that, what systems and processes have you got to actually make sure that this all stays together and continue working in the future. So it was quite comprehensive. And that survey tool is called the Star Workplace. So something we use through our network. Can you tell us a bit about why you chose that particular survey tool for your own business?
Well, I'll give you the honest truth. The honest truth is we have a great team. I've got to tell you, I love my team. They're very loyal to Lorraine and I, and best team we've ever had. And I couldn't be prouder. And I think one of the staff members, one of the things that I said to them is, with STAR and this employer staff satisfaction survey, we can use this as a tool, as a good way to get our customers to use the product. To get their staff back to work. And I thought, that's a great strategy. And then one of them said, because it's a big think tank in our business, why don't we do one internally? And in that way, we know what the experience is like, Colin. And I thought, you know what? That's a great idea. And if I can say we've done so well in the first 3 months, I then rang you immediately and said, I want to do this because I don't want this journey to stop. I want it to continue and get better. So let's do it. So that's pretty much what prompted it. And I think, when I got the results, the results come through pretty much reflected on how the energy is in the team. And look, we get a lot of calls of clients complaining that their staff, not working properly from home, or what's the word, not putting in their full hours and stuff like that. I know my team have been working from home. I know that they've been on the calls with clients from 8 a.m. in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, and I don't expect that of them, but I know that they do that because that's the best for our clients. So, in many ways, it was a good way to put that to a test. And, through this period, we've done things like, given our team flowers and balloons and candles and gift vouchers and cakes. So we're always trying to do something every month in appreciation for the situation that we've been in. But this was a good way to sit back and really go, well, okay, let's have a look at where we're at. And, and as per the survey, it's given us a good framework for 2021 in what we need to do to put in place to become better. And as you know, Warren, I'm engaging you on the 7th of December, so we can go back and reflect on that. And what also come out of it as well is, the personality profiling. So again, I got you to do the personality profiling on all of our team because we do it for other companies. And again, it's reaffirmed that it is a great team.
Well, Cole, thanks, mate. I mean, it is great to be on the journey with you and your team, and we have, worked together for many years now. And so I've certainly witnessed, all the ups and downs of running a small business, but also the great successes you've had with, particularly with the things you've been doing with your people. And it's great to be part of that. So, thanks for continuing to involve me and allow me to be part of that too. So, well, we'll talk about the results then, shall we? We fast track to the outcome from this survey. And what is so great about this is that you achieved a fantastic result with a score of 90% in terms of your workplace engagement. Now, that's in one of the most disrupted work years that we've ever had. Think about all the things that we've had to deal with, and you come out with that phenomenal result. Now, I just wanted to put that in perspective for anyone who's listening to this, that the average result for organizations who've done this survey, and it's been going for 12 years now, so that's many, many small, medium businesses, the average result, the average workplace engagement score is 68%. You got 90. And even for the segment that we call high performing organizations, so that, top level category, their average is 76. So it just shows that, what you've done is quite rare. And when I went back to the administrators of the survey and said, where does this score sit in the history of the STAR results? And they said, that result is in the top 5 of any result we've had in the 12 years that this has been running. So, it was pretty astonishing. And as I said, again, in a very difficult year. So it didn't just happen by accident, I'm sure. What do you put the result down to?
I definitely, like I said, I think it's definitely the plan that we put, that leadership plan. I'm not putting tickets on myself, but I go and drive that with every company. And, we've done this before, and, you get staff buy-in. Buy-in and clarity is everything. But I think what happened in this pandemic is that was a major culture shock for a lot of people. And I think if I reflect back to say, if you just believe in myself and Lorraine and follow our leadership, we will do everything in our power to actually not let anyone go to 4 days a week. And I know, like my team, I know, there's some of my staff, their partners don't have work. So I really pushed that. And I think what happened is, we did things like, we did a Zoom meeting in the morning, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. We did it originally every day, but we then brought it down to Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. We just stayed focused on what was important. And if I say it, I think we were very quick to market in writing articles and doing stuff. That's what I did. And we marketed it very, very well. To the point where we had local council engage us to do webinars for them and stuff like that. So I think, I put that down to just that energy. And then the other thing too is, it's a great result. The guys work hard, and I acknowledge that. And, there's no point getting angry with your team, right? You've got to try and somehow empower them. It's a different way of thinking. And I actually think, to be honest, right, because in the HR space, you have all these KPIs and all that sort of stuff. I simplified things. Everyone had 3 simple KPIs to follow. I just asked them, just do it well. Focus on these 3 KPIs each and do it well. Do it so well that that it'll happen if you just follow it. And I think also a bit of luck too. We have a pretty large client base, and I think we reached out. That client base reached out to us, and we were there for them. And I think some of our competitors that had such as associations and stuff like that, where they're on hold for a while, and that we were very quick to respond, very quick, and my team did that, and nothing was too hard. So I think if I sit back and look at it, that we all just put our head down and worked hard, and the Star Workplace result was a reflection of that. And I think one of the things that if you were to ask any of my team, I'm pretty sure they'd say that they're very grateful.
Mm. Well,
very grateful.
Colin, I do recall you and Lorraine saying that you felt that this was the best your culture has ever been in the business.
Without a doubt. I think, again, employing staff, we do recruitment, you do recruitment. It's one of the hardest things. It's one of the hardest things to on board. And, we've gone through putting a staff member on. I only met her for the first time last Tuesday. She's been with us for 8 weeks, right? So you sit back and go, this is a really weird world that we live in. But I think, one thing that, Rebecca would say is what's come out of my mouth about our business has come out of the other entire, 11 staff within the business. So I think that's a credit to, I go back to leadership and just, what's the word, as an owner, we take all the bullets for our team. We really do. And we go through the grind and the pain. And I think, my team's seen that, and they've just seen us how hard I've tried to fight. And they've been on the journey with me. And some of them have just done some amazing things.
Well, a great team, and also it also showed in the result for the employer satisfaction. That is you. So you were saying, personally, you felt very satisfied with the way the business was going as well, and obviously that's reflective in how your people are performing. But as a business, it also showed that there were some very positive signs for you when you examined, just the performance of the business generally. Mm-hmm. So, were there any surprises, Cole, in the survey that you thought, oh wow, I didn't expect that, either positive or negative?
No, there was no surprises. There's nothing that shocked me. A lot of things, and it gave me verification of what I need to do with the team. I think what's the word? I think that the team know that they're going to be rewarded for some of the ones that are due for it in the new year. But I think there was no surprises for me. In actual fact, it was the reverse. It was a bit more overwhelming. It was a bit more reassurance that we're on a great journey. And then, how do we, as I go back to what I said before, I don't want it to change. I just want it to get better. So 90% is a fantastic result. It shows that we can probably push things a little bit harder with the team. Even though I've said that they've worked hard, but as you know, my biggest thing now is I'm harping on about becoming more effective and efficient for 2021. So I think, that's given me the tool now to say, well, okay, we're at 90%, but how can we work smarter, not harder? And then how can we introduce other initiatives into the business that's going to make us perform better? So I think, and that's the workshop we're doing for the very first time. And then, my office now is too small to get the whole team into the office, right? So I have a problem. So this working from home stuff is going to be normal. It's rotating staff, but we've booked the hire at Essendon Fields to do a business improvement day, which I'm very big on. I've got you, as I said, coming to kick that off, to go back through this start, to go through some of those key points with the guys, to remind them that, this is what you can do better. And even it's 90%. So, any athlete that I talk to would say, well, what's within the 10% difference?
Absolutely. And it's a number, isn't it, Colin? I mean, at the end of the day, it's very satisfying, very gratifying to see, how well that number represents what you're doing. But it is also in a moment in time. And the challenge is to always look, how can we improve on that? How can we maintain it. What was the most meaningful bit of feedback that you got from your staff, and what did you learn about what they value most?
I think the most valuable feedback was the trust. I think the trust in that they entrusted in myself and Lorraine to take them through. I think and gratitude. I think the gratitude, the comments around gratefulness and stuff like that, and I think for any owner out there that's struggling, you sit back and go, aren't they grateful that they've got a job, even though why are they complaining about shifts? Why are they complaining about that's not my job, right? So I know I struggle with that a lot, and when I hear it from other businesses, there's obviously some sort of dynamic that's not right in that. But to hear that the team are grateful and they had the trust in us to take them to the next level, I felt that was some reassurance. And again, I've made a comment. I idolise my team. I love my team. I don't want anyone to go. I don't want anyone to lose. Right? I don't want to lose any staff. I want to grow the team. But let's see. That's the challenges of a small business. Sometimes people move on, but I think if I do everything right and put everything in place and demonstrate this, then I think that's just going to benefit our business long term.
Yeah, absolutely. And Colin, one of the bits of feedback that I picked up on when I was going through the results from one of your staff was that, and I wrote it back to you, it said, the feedback is always constructive and I'm open to receiving it. And you're talking about trust there, but it does take a trusting environment for people to be open to both giving and receiving feedback. Is that something you've actually worked on and done deliberately?
I've always been a fan of that. I think, I've always done that because, being cohesive and getting people inclusive helps with better outcomes, So again, part of leadership is not telling somebody what to do. It's brainstorming, using that emotional intelligence. Hey, look, this is what we need to do. What do you think? Right. And how can we improve this? How can we get better? And, as you know, with the personalities in my business, I have a lot that, some are really always are, making recommendations. But, if I had an idea and I go, this is what I want to do, what do you think? And then get that buy-in. And that really happened in April, but it more so happened in July, because when that second round hit, there was no get out of jail now. It is we're in it. We are in the thick of this. We're in quicksand, so we need to do something. So I think, and then getting them to own it. So the ideas and getting them to own it. And the guys bring ideas to myself and Lorraine all the time, and I'm going through one right now. So that's like anyone, I'll ask for verification and we might challenge it. But I think having a bit of debate is always good because then we know that we're all committed afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good situation to have, isn't it? Have more ideas and more challenges and more people bringing and people questioning the way to do things or talking to about opportunities that they can see. That's a sign of a really vibrant, alive group of people who are wanting to make things better. So you as a business owner, that you should encourage that. Well done.
I think, Warren, too, one of the other challenges I have is I'm the only bloke in this business, right? So I'm challenged all the time with, opinions on what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. Yeah. So, and again, I'm going to tell you, that's a credit to my team because we go into some companies where women don't get along, right? But, I've got Rog who does work in the business as well, but he's more part-time. But, the 10 women in this business, they all get along fabulously. Well, and they do. They have, like everyone, we all have our little moments, but they get along, which is what's important to our customers who pay their wages and keeps us in business, and also to our business, which we're very grateful for.
Well done. That sounds like a fabulous team, Colin. What about yourself? I mean, as an employer, what have you learned about yourself from going through, this year in particular? And what you value now in your business. Has that changed or is it just the same as it ever was?
I think probably one of the things that it's interesting because Lorraine and I actually had this conversation over a walk a few nights ago. And that was, when we got into business 13 years ago, Rudd government was put in, there was a pandemic then with Fair Work. So we think, okay, well that ignited our business. And we've had it all. We've had, people leave us, start up against us, all that sort of stuff. But this time around with the pandemic, I think, what really probably stood up for me, I think, is we've got some great people in this business, and they've got our back. And I think if I sit back and re-look at, over the last few years, there are people that, that have had our back. And, I've emceed a wedding with one of my staff members. And, on the 7th, we've got Rebecca Waite, who's a fantastic employee of our business, coming in to have lunch. No one knows that yet, right? So it's a surprise, right? So, we've had some great staff that have left, but, I sit back and look at it. What's this time around? I was just grateful for the loyalty. I just can't. And has it taken a pandemic to make that happen? I don't know, but I think one of the things that one of my staff members said to me, maybe I'll take this, is that I've been there more for the team now than ever. So that's probably a thought process in my head of, because I haven't been able to do the work, and like at any professional consultancy business, the owner brings in most of the income. And I've been able to achieve that goal where we've flipped that now, where the HR team brings in the income, and I don't have to work so hard. But so I think that's probably the biggest thing that's come out of it, is just how much the loyalty has been there. And maybe it's the pandemic that's that has brought that forward to really highlight that to us.
Yeah, maybe that is the case, Colin, that, facing a challenge quite often does bring people together, but it does come back to good leadership as well. So, we talk about people coming up with ideas and suggestions. One of the reasons for doing this survey was to get people's thoughts about what the business could improve going forward. What ideas or thoughts about areas of the business that could be improved came out of this, either from yourself or from your team? Are there still things to be done?
Well, I think I'm a big fan of workshops and training. I think training is probably the big thing. And I think what's really interesting is we've had training booked and paid for from the start of the year that we haven't even been able to facilitate, as you know, right? Yeah. So some of the things is training, I think. Definitely better, how do we get better processes and systems within the business? So that's also been a challenge too. So, people going working from home, like we've got my staff have got 2 monitors at home, one monitor in the office, and I don't want to do hot desks. And so, how do we get better with technology? So we've just upgraded. So we've been forced to upgrade in technology. So I think, to become more efficient is the thing that really took me out of the survey. How can we get better output and get some time back, if I can say that? So if you're working 8 hours, well, what efficiencies can we create through technology or better structure, better processes that might give us that 1 hour back? So we're only doing 7 hours and can chill out for the last half an hour. And get ourselves organised for the next day, or 10 hours back to normal working hours. But I think for me, that's the big thing, and that's really high on our agenda for the 7th is better technologies of what we can do to become more efficient, and then how can we work together as a team to become more efficient. And again, sometimes that's about what are you passionate about, and who wants to put their hand up and say, well, I'll own this. If I go back to July, I looked at everyone's strengths and I just wanted them to play to their strengths. Now, that might have changed. We're about to find that out. But, we're definitely going to find that out, Warren, because, we've written our recruitment budget in 4 months for 12 months, right? So already I've got a bit of an issue there right now is that's the next person, recruitment and HR advisor. So I think that's what I've got out of that survey. And a big tick of the box that we're on the right track doing what we're doing. And I think the other thing too is COVID showed us that with our clients, we just manned up. So normally it's been a staff member that's looked after a client, and I put a team behind each client. So if you can't get hold of Maya, you can ring Lily, and so I sort of doubled up my team and now tripled up my team with some clients. So they see us as a resource to their business, a partner to their business, not just an outsourced HR business. And I think that, to me, ticked the box of why that survey was so good.
Wonderful. So what about 2021? Cole, what does next year look like for key business advisors?
This is an interesting thing, right? Because right now, if I can say it, I'm working some long hours, and as owners, and I said this to a team last week, I said, your owner goes to bed at midnight like I do, working on the business, and then gets up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., has a cold shower for half an hour to get the blood flowing or get you awake to front up again. So right now, if I said what's looking good for me in 2021, it's definitely a break, right? And I want my team to have a break. So again, not being selfish, my team are going to have 2 or 3 weeks off in December and January. I will work those hours, and then when they come back, Laura and I are going to have a break. So I think I'm looking forward to that from a personal level, but from a business level, on the 7th, we'll define our goals and objectives of what we need to do, and we'll put a plan. We have a plan, which we're just going to add to, which you've got a copy of that, and then we'll execute that plan. So why change something? One thing I do know is the work that I do and the stuff that I love to read and get involved with is getting up there is one thing, staying up there is something else. And when you're on a good wicket, you don't really want to make too much change. You just want to make some slight amendments to improve things. And I go back to being more efficient, better technologies, and a happier, like the workplace is really, really happy. And I think, would we have given our team a gift every month for their performance? No, not before, but during COVID, appreciation. So I think a bit more appreciation of our team will take us to that next level for sure.
Well, Colin, thank you, mate, for sharing with us your insights, allowing us to see your business from the inside out through your eyes and through your team's eyes. And I really appreciate your time. And look, I always knew there was going to be an open and honest and a frank interview, but also an inspiring one. So well done, mate. Well done to you, Lorraine, and all of the team at Kiva, at Key Business Advisors. You've got there through hard work, but it's really wonderful to see you enjoying this lovely purple patch, particularly in spite of a very challenging year for everyone. And I hope, through what you've shared, that will give some ideas and some inspiration to other businesses as we emerge from 2020 and really look forward to a very positive and engaging and successful and prosperous 2021. Again, Colin, thank you, mate. Thank you for your time.
I just want to finish off, Warren. So in the previous meeting I had, it was said that I'm a good fit for their business and my team, right? And on the way back in the car, I did speak to Alison, and I said, do you think Warren's a good fit for our team? And she said, absolutely, 100%. So I think, for anyone out there who thinks, do I need to get outside help or outside advice? Well, the answer to that is, yeah, you do. You can do two things. You can work it out along the way and make the mistakes, or you can get some support and advice and do it. But my advice of that is make sure whoever you get is a good fit for your business, because they are the ones that can then take your business to the next level and support you. And I think, Warren, as I said, we've used you for help in this business, and we've had staff that have bought into what we want to do, and we've had staff that haven't bought into what we want to do, and that happens in every business. But if I look at, what's happened this year and stuff like that, like we really need your help. And I'm saying that, to get us to that next level. So thanks.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.